Well, welcome. My name is Mari Carmen Saleta. I'm an educational support specialist at the Center for Autism and Related Disabilities of the University of Miami. And I'm here to present to you about visuals every day. I've been part of, this is very awkward being sitting down to present. I'll try my best. I've been working in the autism field for more than 10 years now, and I've been using visuals every single day since I started working with them. And I am hoping to share all the strategies that have worked with my kids and all the individuals that I've worked with to see if they're helpful for you. And this is an open group. You can ask any questions while we're doing the presentation. Okay? Okay, so what are visuals? Visuals is anything that we see that enhances the communication process. It helps us gain information and also improves organization. Click here. Okay, so nonverbal language, like the body language that I'm using right now, those are visuals. Facial expressions are visuals, all the gestures in the environment, any directions, signs, text, lines in the parking lots, agendas, calendars, all that are visuals. And we have no idea how much we use them until we don't have them. So who uses them? We all do. And imagine if I take all the stop signs of the streets, what would you do? It would be chaos. We use them every single day. If we go to the bathroom, we know which one is the men's bathroom, which one is the girls' bathroom. So those are signs that we use every day and we don't even realize. Right now, being with an iPhone, it would be impossible, at least for me. The difference of using visuals in our lives as typical developing person is that for some individuals, the use of visuals can make something impossible possible, and it can be the difference between success and failure. So this is why we're here for. This is why I want to explain to you why visuals are important in children with autism. It's been proven that all children with autism learn visually, and it's the best way for them to communicate, to organize themselves, and it has been proven to improve communication skills, social skills, behaviors, organization, task completion, and information gathering. The goal of visual supports is always to improve independence, structure of the environment, predictability, understanding, the clarity of expectations, and opportunity for interaction and communication. And with visual supports, we want to reduce fear, anxiety, surprises, and any challenging behaviors that we might have. Why are they easy to understand? The reason why visuals are easier to understand is because they're concrete and they're consistent. They don't change. A visual picture doesn't change. Our faces, they do change, and our words can change as well. But the visuals are concrete and consistent, and that's why they're so easier to understand for our children. And some of the visuals are universally accepted, like the stop sign. It's universally accepted. So they're easier for them. And today we're going to be talking about different visual supports. We're going to talk about motivational systems, schedules, choice boards, routine and self-help skills, chores and responsibilities, social and behavioral cues, and community visual cues. Of course, I'm going to give you lots of examples, visual examples, that you can use, and hopefully you can use in your daily life if you're working with a child with autism or an adult, or it could be any age. So what can we use when we use visuals? We can use objects, we can use real pictures, and we can use symbol pictures, what we call symbol pictures. I don't know if some of you have heard about Mayor Johnson symbols. At the end of this presentation, you will see the link for Mayor Johnson, which has a program called Board Maker that people use for making all the visuals. And they have a lot of examples already made and they're pre-made in their website. And we can also use words. Okay, so when we talk about motivational supports, we can use them for homework when we're having issues with our children making homework, chores at school, and for social interactions. And some of the examples are the video game controllers, train going on the station, etc., and the token system. So here I'm going to show you a few pictures. I don't know if some of you have heard about First and Then, but First and Then for me is it's like my treasure. I am always carrying a First and Then board picture when I'm working in the summer camps and when I'm working with the kids and adults and anything. And we can use them as motivation. For example, when we're doing homework, for like the picture right there, it says first we do math, then we do computer. And it serves for them to understand that after they do their task, they're going to get a reward. So I have a video here that I'm going to share. Please, right now I'm going to share my desktop to show you how to use a First Then board. I have to share my. You will see my desktop now.
Ready, Gilbert first. Gilbert, do one more time first. Then forward. Good job. First kick.
Okay, were you able to see the video? Were you able to see the video? Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to show you another video. Okay, what's happening in this video, she's teaching him how to swim, and she's showing him the picture of first he needs to kick and then he goes underwater. Christopher would not do it without seeing the visuals. He would just go under, and it really helps to understand that first he needs to do something and then he gets the reward of going under. Now you're going to see him after he uses the visuals. So there he's kicking.
Good job.
And now he gets to go under. So that's when he understood about the Okay, so that's just a visual example of how to use visuals and how it could reduce behaviors. Because when he used to go to the swimming lessons, he used to just go under, and not understand that he needed to do other tasks as well. Okay, so we can use First Then to specific task or homework or any task that we want the child or the individual to do. Talking about motivational supports, we have the token system. I don't know if any of you have heard about it. So we have first few visuals of what they're working for. If the child likes the computer, we put few tokens, and I'm going to show you a few, or the playground, like this one. And you put a few tokens under, and you give them the task. If he needs to complete 4 letters or 5 letters, so then you ask them to do that letter, and for every letter that he completes, he gets a star. And then once he gets all the star, he finishes all his work, then he knows he gets to go to the playground. Or in that picture we have there, the computer. We have other samples like this. And the token system like this, you can use it with coins as well. And they're really easy to make. You can make them yourself in a clipboard or folder or anything that you want. The token system is really, really good. It has been proven to work with all our children a lot. I recommend, if you're going to use the token system, to start small. to start with, like it says here, you know, I'm working for the stuffed animal. It has 2 little icons only. You can start with 2 so that they understand how the system works first, and then you start adding little icons, so that way you can start asking for more and more time. You can use this for time to give the child more time to work on something. And if you have any questions, pop it up because I can see them on the chat. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so when we use any motivational support first, then any of the token system, we always should add a social reinforcer, a good job, a high five, a hug. These are the reinforcers that they're going to see in their daily life. So we want to add them to any reinforcer, any motivational system, or any visual that we use with a child. Okay, so when we use visuals for academic progress, it's when the child is struggling with directions or when they need help with the sequence of tasks. And some of the examples that we can use is modified books, larger prints, and the list of the steps to solve a word problem. Like in the picture here, you can see a modified book. It's a book that, you know, it goes counting 1, 2, 3, and then we added a little visual on the numbers so that they have something to grasp, like a visual to grasp, so it's easier for them to understand it. So for understanding of task, I don't know if you all heard about the TEACH program. So we divided the task in steps and to visually show them how to do it. And it's a lot easier for them. And these are all handmade things that you can make at home or at the school. So for the wheels on the bus, for example, in the classroom, we always use on-task visuals for them, and it's easier for them to focus on circle time and in the different activities that we use. So for the task, the harder task, one of the things, this is the TEACH program as well. We divide the groups in 3, and then at the end we have a finish box. So they know that they have to do the first activity first, then second, then third, and then they're all done. This also works for independent work. Once you teach the child or the individual how to do each task, then you can let them do it independently, and it really works well. Here's another example, and here you see the motivational support at the end, where it has a computer. After he finishes 1, 2, 3, then he gets the computer. So you're adding the academics and then, you know, with the motivation. And here for the older students, when they have to do worksheets, they can do the 4 worksheets and then get a break. This is really helpful for homework as well in the house. If you're at home, it really helps to make their homework easier and faster. So for information gathering, when we use it to give concrete information about what to expect on any changes in routines. And some of the examples are choice boards and calendars. One of the things, well, information gathering, and you can, you know, the choice boards. I have plenty here. I'm going to show you one. This is the one we have in our playroom here at CARD. It has a lot of choices because we have a playroom divided with the you know how in our classrooms we have the little boxes with visuals. So what we did was we made a choice board on the to the eye of the child, so they can choose if they want, okay, a coloring. So they say, I want coloring, and then right next to it we have a first dan board. So if we want them to play, if we know that they like to play with Legos a lot, and we want them to actually do something else and go outside their restrictive interest, so we can go ahead and put, okay, first Legos, first you play with Legos, first you play with puzzles if we want them to play with puzzles, and then we get the Legos. When we do a choice board, it's the same thing as I was talking about the token system. Try to start small, try to start with few choices, and then start adding once the child knows what a choice board is and how to work with them. So here's another choice of another example of choice board, and you can see for the school, which is really helpful. You have the inside choices for Madison, and then the outside choices. And then once she's done, it has a little pocket down where she can put the activity when she's done. Okay, so for enhancing communication, we use visuals. Please, if you have any questions, pop it up, okay? Because I know this is usually I do it in like 2 hours, this presentation, so I'm doing it fast. So for enhancing communication, we use it when we like more information from your child without prompting, and to increase the ability to initiate, which we know it's a hard task for our children to do. And to gain more information about different settings. We can use communication box or home to note school notes. The little book that you see there, it's a little book that we make for a little boy. And it said, okay, it had a picture of their friends of school, and I don't have it with me because I gave it out. It has a little picture of the book, all the kids in the classroom, and it says, today I play with, and then he could choose the face of the child, to let mommy know who he played with in school, because it's a hard task to do with some of our kids when the parents go pick them up and what did you do today, and they are like, I don't know, or they tell them the last thing they did because they don't remember, they don't recall it. So a little home to note school book helps them to improve the communication. Okay, so here are some examples. Today I talked to, and then you see the little faces, and I like playing in the playground, or I like computer. And these are things that you can make in your computer really easily as well. So we have communication books. If you heard about PECS, the Picture Exchange Communication System, and in this presentation at the end you will find the link, and is that exchange when we give a symbol and we receive the object in return, and that's what we call the Picture Exchange Communication System. For some of the nonverbal kids or individuals, we use a picture book. This is something that you can make with a binder and folders and Velcro and laminating sheets. That's all you need to make it. And it's visual, basically all the choices that you have the child, so you can have a communication with them. So these are different types of communication notes, from school to home, for the higher functioning individuals. Okay, so social rules. When we use them, we use visuals to teach expected behaviors in a given situation, to reduce social anxiety, and some of the examples is how to interrupt when necessary, and using a tissue like the picture below. So these are little visuals that we make when we want to change a behavior from negative to positive. So if a child doesn't know how to relax themselves, like, we can make a little picture card, and this is something that we use with a high functioning child in a regular setting, and because he used to get upset and he used to, cry or scream or hit, and then we made a visual for him on how to appropriately calm down or relax or put his head down when he was upset. So these are all examples of visuals that we can use for social rules. So all the ones that you see right here are social rules visuals that we, typical people, use it all the time. And for our kids, it really, really works well. Okay, so social rules, we can use rules in our classroom, for a field trip, for our house. We can have rules in the car. And one thing about rules is that you always want to try to keep them positive. For example, here, these are the rules of our playroom. How to have fun in the playroom, instead of saying rules for this. This is just a way of doing it. Choose a toy, ask for help if needed, play and have fun, and clean up before leaving. we have some, these are the rules for our surf camp. So it's always positive, follow directions. Okay, follow directions, listen to others, take turns, ask for help, and have fun. Always try to keep the rules short and positive. And you can make rules for everything on how to appropriately behave on the bus. Okay. In classrooms and in our house, in the houses, we always recommend our parents to have like what we call the safe place, and it's a place to relax and calm down, and always there's always tons of visuals around. And I don't know if you can see that little picture there, but we have a safe box, and I always recommend our parents to have a little place where they can go and relax, have a break, and use some objects to relax. And always, if you're going to have a safe place, always have a timer so that they can visually know when the time is over of the break. So we have feelings, sheets, and these you can get in the Boardmaker, the Mayor Johnson website. They're for free, and you will see in the links at the end of my presentation. So for organizing work, we use it for homework, the long projects, weekend chores, and its to-do lists, calendars, and all of that. So we always remember to always break down the steps. This is how to do homework. So first you take the folder out, you take your materials out, you do your homework, you correct it with your mom, and then you put it away. And this could make really a huge difference in one child that is having a hard time doing their homework and spending time, enough time in the sitting down to finish it. And I would add to that visual a little reinforcer at the end, like what he gets after, like he gets to go play after he does his homework. That's what I would do in that visual. So we use visuals for organizing tasks. Here's, baking cookies. So for organizing play, how to play war, how to visually, like how to make a train. And this is so easy to make, and it can make such difference in our individuals. And I also have, okay, I have another example here on how to play like baseball. And this was made for a child because we had a baseball team. And it has like, what do we do first? We choose teams, positions, hit ball, run to base. And these are things that can make a huge difference in their life and reduce any stress or fear or anxiety. Okay, so for organizing play, we're teaching a little girl how to play with a doll. And it makes a difference if you have the visuals on how to do it. It may sound so easy for us because we know what to do. We know how to play with the doll, and some of the kids it's easier for them. And one of the things that I would do in my classrooms is, aside from having the visuals on how to play with the doll, I would pair up the little girl with another girl so that they can play together and do it together. And that's a way of improving the social skills as well. Okay, so organizing space it's very important for our individuals to have the space organized and everything labeled, and this is how our visuals help organize the space. And even when we're doing something so simple as doing homework or setting up the desk for our children, visually, it's a lot easier for them to understand what they have to do if it's organized. So here's an example. Okay, so organizing the space. Here is organizing the space and marking the boundaries, or where they have to sit down. Be very specific. So we use visuals also for independent functioning. for self-help skills, for daily routines, social situations, and for this we have task analysis, game templates, and setting the table and all that. This is very helpful for those kids that are learning how to dress themselves, how to go to the potty, um, and how to wash their hands. And this is something that we have in all of our classrooms, how to wash their hands in the toilet, how to go to the bathroom for the girls, and how to go to the bathroom for the boys. And organizing time. Okay, we're going to go now into schedules. This is going to take the rest of the time now. How to use schedules and making schedules. So what we're going to talk about now is about all those schedules that you see around. And we make schedules. First, you have to choose how you're going to make it. Left to right, top to bottom. If you're going to make it stick it to a wall or a table, or if it's going to be mobile, where you can use it on a notebook, a ring, and I'm going to show you visuals now. Second, you need to choose how you're going to make your schedule. You're going to use objects. Are you going to use pictures? Are you going to use symbols? Is it going to be written with words or just pictures and words? And then why, when, and how you're going to use it. Is this going to be for a specific activity or for part of the day, or if it's going to be all day? So this is an example of a schedule top to bottom. Any child can benefit, and any individual can benefit from a schedule. And you will see, depending on the level of functioning of the child, if you need a child to use it with objects or words. And this is a smaller one from top to bottom for a specific activity. And this is a left to right. There's some schedules left to right. I usually recommend the top to bottom. It's easier for my children to understand, but everybody has their own opinions, and their students are different. Each child is different. So this is a carry-on one, and it's a little folder, and then you open it and has the schedule. This usually works for the kids that are included in a typical regular classroom, where you don't want the schedule to be on a wall and the child doesn't want to feel different. So they can have their schedule on their backpack, and then just every time they finish a task, they can just put it in the little pockets. This is really easy to make as well, and it's just laminated in a folder. So this is the rings, and this is also good for kids in inclusion, and you can put it in your pocket, or for the teachers can carry it on their pants. So we have small schedules for the children that are starting to use a schedule. I would always start with 3 to 4 pictures, or divide the morning schedule and then the afternoon schedule. So it's not that many pictures. This is a sample of object schedules, and for the little kids, like under 2, that are learning the words and that are learning the pictures, the visuals, and the objects are much better. And this is real pictures with words. This is a picture schedule of a classroom. And then words and symbols. Once they get the picture schedules, you can start adding, the checklist. This is a good way of doing it. You laminate the pictures, and with a non-permanent marker, you can just check it once it's done. This is just words with symbols, and then you can take down the symbols once they know how to read like this. And nowadays we have our iPhones. I mean, most of the kids have iPhones or have iPads, and there's tons of apps that you can that they have schedules, and if you can do the search in the iPad for apps for autism, and there you can see some of the schedules, like already pre-made schedules, and they're really good and they're really easy to read, and it's really good for our children and individuals. So surprise, it's always important if you're going to make a schedule it's super important that you always add a surprise, because they need to understand that the schedule is not going to be always the same, and there's always going to be transitions and things to expect that we are not expecting. So once you make a schedule and once the child knows how to work with the schedule, I would add a picture that is a surprise to teach him that anything, any day, anytime, we can have something unexpected happen. And this is really important in our children, so that they don't get used to having all the same routine all the time. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about books, which are the social stories. They were created by Carol Gray, and they're just simple short stories that convey expectations. They can be used for self-help, to changes in routine and behaviors. I have some examples here. For example, you can make a little books. They're just so little social stories that you make for the child to understand even changes, if there's a new routine coming, if you're going on a trip, or if you're riding on a bus. And for example, the one here, riding on the bus, it says, sometimes during camp we get to ride the bus. Riding the bus with my friends can be fun. When I get on the bus, I can say hello to the driver and then sit down in my seat. Sometimes the counselors will tell me who I will sit next to, and sometimes I can choose who I will sit with. So it goes on and on of what happens in the bus. So this gives them like the expectation of what's going to happen when they get to the bus. We can use it for the other example that there is sharing toys. So we can use it as well for if we have a new activity coming, or if your child is, for example, for the transition to summer camp, it would be great to make a little book that says, in May 30th, the school is going to be over, and in June 6th, I'm going to start summer camp. Summer camp is going to be lots of fun, and I have actually, as an example, and I have plenty of time to show it to you, I'm going to share the desktop now, and I'm going to show you one example of a social story. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so this is a social story for a surf camp that we have every year in spring break. So we usually send this social story 1 week prior to the camp, so that the parents can read it to them and prepare them for the activity that they're going to do. So it says, for 1 week during my spring break, I will be going to surf camp. It's going to be awesome. And we have pictures of the place where they're going to be. And it tells them specifically that each day they will meet with the instructors, counselors, and other campers. And if the weather changes, we might have to change our schedule in the middle of the day. And it says it's okay, we have to change our schedule. There's always plenty to do, and we still have fun. So after lunchtime, if we have time, I can choose my iPod and all that. There's rules, and it's going to be a great week. Okay, were you able to listen to me while you see the story? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we can use visuals for positive behavior support as well. In the environmental design as boundaries, like we said, like the pictures I show you in the classroom. We have like visual supports, like we show you in the schedule, choice boards, and what to do next. The first 10 boards, the timers, and the being prepared, and always catch them good. One of the visual supports I've been using lately, I just finished a swimming program for 24 children with autism, and this was magic for them. And I'm going to show you now a video of little Christopher without the visual support and Christopher with the visual support. I'm going to show you the videos now. Okay. Okay, this is Christopher with no visual. You're gonna hear Christina, the teacher, saying wait a million times. So you see that the hand doesn't help him. He's gonna go, and it's, you know, it's a safety issue. So poor Miss Christina is trying to look at me and help, help, help. So I'm gonna show you now him with visuals. After we made the visual support for her. So every time he waits, he gets a little code token, and of course we're using the little girl as a model because she learned how to use it as well. So you see, he's not paying attention there. She's waiting for him to actually be paying attention to her and say the word wait. You're gonna see him playing with it, and this is because we've been doing it for a week, so he already knows he has to wait, but he's gonna try to throw it away. But he's waiting, and that was the main goal. So there you go. He gets his token for waiting. Okay. So in that example, you can see not only the behavior, which is reduced because of the visual support, but also he's motivated. He gets the token, and at the end, once he gets the 5 tokens, he gets to do his favorite activity in the pool, which is to jump. So that really helped in that case. Okay. So now what? What do we do? And we have a little slide that a friend of mine prepared on how to create independence and when and where we use visual supports. And this is something that you can use as a guide every time you decide that you're going to use visuals. And first, you think about the times that your child or adult is having a difficulty, and you have to write down what are these difficulties, when are they having a hard time, and choose one. You need to prioritize what's important. If it's waiting, if in that case, if it's a specific behavior, if they're having a transition difficulty for an activity. So you have to make sure you choose one specifically, and then after that you see what's the problem. Is he getting upset? Doesn't understand directions? Doesn't understand what he will be rewarded with, or he can't be organized. And after you find out why is it happening, then you do how to support it. Okay, what do I need to do? Do we need organization support? We need perceptive, we need expressive. Can we add a visual plus the social reinforcer? Like, what can we do? And then create it. Decide like the layout, the theme, the characters, and what the child likes best. Decide if you're going to use objects, pictures, of clip art, or board maker, and then make a plan. How are you going to teach it? When are you going to teach it? What did it say there? I would love to have this digital. Okay, so we'll talk about that in my school. So when you want to teach it, when to use it, and where to use it. So after you do that, after you have that plan set up, then you develop your visual supports and how to make them. And here's some materials that you're always going to use around. You should always have around. You should always have a laminating sheet, a laminating paper, laminator, and all that. And flyers, poster boards, and we can make visuals with anything. And I'm going to show you a few more that I have here. just because we're almost done and I have all the internet resources there. But before we finish, I want to show you all the visual supports that I have around. Here are some for social skills that we were talking about. These are social cues on how to, how to ask for something, how to ask for play, how to give a compliment, and how to get a friend's attention. Once you start making visuals, you will see that it makes a whole world of a difference in you as a teacher, or as a professional, or as a parent, and for the child as well. And if you're gonna be using visuals, you'll see my office, and we have them organized right there, organizing time, social rules, academic progress, and tons of visuals that we use. So now, please, it's open for questions or anything that you can ask, or anything that you want to know. I know MC School, you said that you would love to have that digital. What do you mean? You want the videos that you say? Or the presentation? Okay, perfect. I can get to the presentation for sure. No problem. And I would be more than willing to share with you visuals that I have pre-made already, and show, like, if you can email me, I'm gonna put my email right here. Email me, and then I'll send you the PDF file for the presentation. And as well, if you're making visuals, I'm more than available. So I will be more than happy to send you any examples or any websites. There's tons of websites that already have pre-made visuals. Here, the pre